How many chairs are you sitting on right now? Are you all in on the chair? You put on one pair of glasses. You've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. Like you're using one microphone. That's the one microphone. Like you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? Did you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? You know? Do you take a different way? You get on one airplane? Are you convicted? You put your entire family in the one airplane? Aren't you afraid? When you use knives, do you have copper knives, wooden knives, steel knives, aluminum knives, rubber band knives, diamond knives because you're afraid to commit to the right knife?
Let's do that one more time.
Rubber band knives, diamond knives because you're afraid to commit to the right knife? So my point really is, ultimately, if you're a rational individual, it's a tool.
Steppers ain't gonna say a thing.
What the fuck is going on, dude? I feel 11. Welcome back to the stream, man. It's so good to be back. It's so good to see y'all beautiful faces. It's so good to be back. What the fuck is good? All the homies are in here. We got another banger episode. We got a mirror board for y'all today as well. We got a good stream. We got a fun stream. I'm not gonna lie, man. I woke up this morning feeling the best I've ever. Okay. The best I've ever felt is a extreme stretch. But I woke up feeling fucking good, okay? You know, I woke up feeling optimistic. And the reason I woke up feeling optimistic is that I'm very cognizant of the fact that crypto kind of sucks right now. But crypto sucks less when you take into account every other market also kind of sucks, okay? Every other market also kind of sucks. Like, equities right now are kind of a disaster. You know, there's really not that many places to hide is sort of what it feels like right now, and we're going to talk about it. And now you could look at that and you could be bearish, and you could be sad, you could be miserable, or you could look at it from the lens that Thicky Thought with a zero looked at it from, and is basically saying whatever the next thing is, whether it's crypto, there'll always a new game. Whatever the next new game is, you're best possibly positioned right here. And so the reality situation is there just like isn't really a new game. And so we're gonna like hang out here for a while, and we're gonna be first to the new game, and we're gonna be right, and we're gonna spend as much time here possible until we identify said new game. So welcome back to the stream. If you're tuning in on Twitter or YouTube, because we got a YouTube audience now, if you'd like to chat, that'd be twitch.tv/threadguy. Threadguy said share gonna move. There you go. Welcome back to the stream. What's good, everyone? What's good? Roll call. Muddy, what's good? Caleb, what's good? Jayla, what's good? Live the Life TV, what's good? Jonah, what's good? Fat Flex, what's good? Digimoney, what's good? Villain, my dog. Proof of Work 69, Pre-Witch Intern. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. I love you. Ampro, Jackson Ray, Poca, what's good? Joey, my homie, what's good? Rocky, what's good? The whole squad, what's good? Could the DJ in life, Wavy 80 in the Navy and the gravy, who had a baby. Called him KV. What's good? What's good? What's good? Stone, what's good? How are you? Okay, welcome back to the stream. All right, we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost is, I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been getting hit with fucking haymakers left and right in 2026. I've been super optimistic about Rug. Thanks for the gifted. I've been super optimistic about what the year is gonna be this year, and I've been getting hit with fucking haymaker after haymaker. I'm not gonna lie. If you have any advice on the peptide stuff or stem cells or any weird biohacking stuff, let me know. I have a torn labrum and I'm scared to get surgery. I really, dude, I think it's 2026 and we have medical technology available to us that was not available for our parents, was not available for our prior generations. And I'm young. I'm on the forefront of emerging technology and innovation, and I should be utilizing these capabilities that are at our fingertips. And so if you have any advice, bro, on what to do with the stem cells, let me know, because they want to cut my bicep tendon out of my shoulder, put it back into my bicep, take a sterile screw and drill it through my shoulder. And I'm like, bro, I don't really want you to do that. I know you want to do that to me, but I don't really want you to do that. I'm not really excited about you doing that. I'm 24, bro. It's like, and so they're like, okay, what, you know, my dad said to me, what if you don't get the surgery? I said, don't get the surgery, bro. I'm 24. I want to fucking be able to throw my kid up in the air and, you know, play tackle. I want to be like, if I wanted to try for the NFL, I want to have the capability physically to do that, right? If I wanted to go to like a mini camp for the New Orleans Saints, I want to have like the ability to do that. Or if I want to run a marathon when I'm 50, I want to be able to do that. I had a surgery for a torn labrum at 22. Wasn't that bad? How's your mobility in your shoulder is really what I'm curious about. So I don't want them to do that, but look, I also recognize that this is the year of the health maxing. It's the year of biomaxing, and so I went to the dermatologist today, and I got the hair pills. I'm gonna be honest, I got the hair pills today. I got them today, and I think our whole chat should start taking the hair pills. I'm gonna be honest. I got them, and dude, I put my hairline into Claude, and I was like, be honest. Like, what do you think? And Claude was like, not great. You should go to the doctor. I'm like, fuck, really? I said, be honest. And he's like, my Claude, like, talks to me on voice, and I could hear him, like, I'm like, just say, he's like, oh, you know, Claude like really wants to be nice to you, and he's like, oh, he's like gritting his teeth. And so I'm like, fine, I'll go. And I went to the dermatologist. He comes in this morning, and he's like, okay, you know, thread guy, what are you here for? And I'm like, well, what do you think? And I just went like naked man, but with my forehead. I just pulled up the naked man. What do you think? Be honest. And he's like, how old are you? I'm like, 24. And he's like, you should probably take the hair pills. I'm like, fuck, really? He's like, yeah. You should take them. He's like, he like pulled a grok. He's like, he pulled a ChatGPT. He's like, you're doing the right thing. You're getting ahead of schedule, and the shows that you're like a prepared, responsible young man. Take the hair pills. And I'm like, fuck, really? Really? Are there any downsides? And he was like, what? There's like just one. And I'm like, okay, like what, what is it? What do you mean? Okay, I'm done, what's up? And he's like, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he just like does it again. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there may be some like performance issues, he says to me. And I said, Doc, I'm going to be completely honest. He says, very low chance, happens to a couple percent of people. I said, Doc, I'm going to be honest. I think the longevity of your hair is more important than any level of performance on or off the court. Not even close. Bring him. And so I'm on. Look, I'll let you know. I'll give you guys updates. But at the end of the day, it's like, what good is performance if you can't check into the game? If you know what I mean? It's like, what good? It's like a basketball player like can shoot well under pressure, but he can't make the team. It's like, what? Who even knows at the end of the day? And so that's where I'm at. That's why I was late to stream today, as at the doctor. And I don't think bleaching my hair was a good idea, by the way. I think that was really bad for my hair. I don't think it helped at all. But look, it's the year of looks maxing. And so I think everybody should potentially look. Every time I talk to my Claude and it asks me, how would you like to communicate with me? I tell it, just fucking be honest. Be honest. Hit me in the fucking chest. I want it straight. I don't want you to be my friend. I want you to be honest. I think everyone should take a long, hard look. Pull it back. Send it to Claude and say, be honest. And if you don't like the results, it's between you and the man in the mirror. And you got to just sometimes take it on the chin. I think 2026 is going to be the year of like not easy conclusions, but it's going to be about truth seeking. And it's not always going to be easy, man. When it's like when we look at these crypto charts, it's like some of these altcoins, we have to just be honest about them. I know I was a fan of, Pump Fund token as much as the next guy, but at a certain point, it's like you have to just be honest about what is in front of us. The tape never lies. And you could like the coin, you could be holding on, but sometimes you just have to be honest. So, all right, that's that. How is everyone, man? There's a lot going on in the world. It's a crazy time in the world. I think it's one of the most fun times ever to be terminally online on the internet because there's just like thing after thing after thing happening. Thicky has a Telegram. Give me your opinion on this. I'm increasingly convinced that the best thing you can do, like one of the best ways to spend your time as like a young man that's like relatively proficient and interested in markets, speculation, is you should be posting hard. I really think you should be posting hard, less so for clout on the internet, more so for the ability to churn through thoughts. Okay, like one of the things I've learned about not posting is if I have a thought and it's a really bad thought, I don't say, this is why I come here and I say dumb shit at the beginning. I gotta just like spit it out. If I have a thought and it's like a dumb thought, it's a dumb take, and I don't say it, I don't get to just cue forward to the next take. It actually works like mucus at the top of your throat, and it makes it like harder for the next thought to breathe through. You actually can't get it out unless you cough up the mucus. Bad analogy, pretty gross. It's like a hairball. It actually works. Bad, like dumb thoughts work like hairballs, and you have to churn them out. And if you don't churn them out, they don't just disappear. You don't get just like clear cache. They actually condense at the top of your throat, and they make the next thoughts worse. And so one of the things I've noticed is it's hard to post as hard as I want. Post hard, post often. Maybe I'll read the hot pot to you guys one day. We need to do some more reading in class. Maybe I'll read the hot pot to you guys. It's where like Milady ideology was created, and their only rules were post hard, post often, never tab out. Never backspace, never tab out, post hard, post often. And I think that, you know, if you're trying to figure out how to understand a new niche or a new market or what's going on in a space, I guess step one, post hard, post often, and figure it out later. And I don't really like post as hard as I want to on my Twitter because it's just like high stakes, man. I have a lot of followers. I got a lot of followers. A lot of people read it. It's public. Maybe I should do it more. But Thicky has a Telegram channel, and it's like so unhinged, bro. There's like 2,000 members, and it's like really unhinged. He's posting like it's like breakfast and shit. And I think I'm like a Telegram channel, like a public Telegram channel with comments on where you could reply to my posts. I could reply to you in the Telegram channel. It's one way, like it's just me posting, and I could just post in it all day. Dumb shit, things I read, just like post, you know, like I would want to post like 100 times a day in there would be my goal, to post as much as possible. Raw takes on everything right when they come out. Ideally, we form some sort of mutual agreement where you're not screenshotting and putting it on Twitter, but obviously that's going to be it's going to happen. And it could be sort of for like the homies. Like, I don't know if people would read it, but I think I'm going to make a Telegram channel, a one-way Telegram channel where I'm just talking about my thoughts, the market, cultural stuff, shit I'm buying, what I'm interested in, girls I think are bad, like shit like this. Ping pong move I just found. Like I think he uses it like a group chat. It's really cool. And my only rules for myself would be post hard, post often, never tab out, never backspace. If you would like be interested in it, you all would join, because you're really my target audience. You guys are really my target audience. I know you hear me live for like 3 hours a day, so maybe you're not that interested. But if you were interested in it, theoretically, I would like to potentially make one. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Maybe at the end of stream we'll make it. I'll let you all join. So here's the plan for stream today. I have 10, 15. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. What should I name it? I was gonna name it like. Actually, I was gonna name it something I probably should say on stream. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the name later. Salt and Stoned, maybe. Imagine that. Salt and Stoned. That's pretty good. Salt and Stoned. That's pretty good. That's off the dome. That's pretty good. Salt and Stoned. So I have like 15 minutes of stuff I want to talk about to sort of like do an intro. Okay, I want to do an intro. I think the biggest news for today that we're going to get into is I want to talk about some AI crypto stuff. I want to talk about Vitalik basically coming out and saying that L2s are dead. I want to talk about Hyperliquid, and it crossed our level, by the way. I'm in a trade. I have a bag. Not as much as I probably want, but we had this level on there for weeks. 35. We had this level on for weeks. It's 35 level, previous ATH. And if it broke it with volume, I'm in, regardless of what the market looks like. And I'm fucking following my guns. And I'm in. On Hyperliquid, I'm in. We'll talk about the trade and why I think the Hyperliquid thing is interesting here. I want to talk about I want to talk about Epstein files a little bit and why the market is weird. And the big segment we're going to do today that I think it's going to be a good YouTube video and I think is relevant just for the market and like while we're like some entertainment is going to be like a full recap on Donald Trump's presidency and the impact, the negative impact he has had on cryptocurrency is probably what we're going to do near the end. So that's the deal. That's what we're going to do on stream today. And I want to start with this. It's like 5 minutes. And it's a really good follow-up if you watch the Thicky interview, which, by the way, what'd you think of the Thicky interview if you got to watch it? It's a really good follow-up with the Thicky interview. It basically is discussing how I think we should start thinking about crypto Twitter and how I think it's going to evolve. And I've been trying to frame in my own head how we do, like, what we cover on stream. Like, I want to do a segment tomorrow about the bits to atoms rotation. I want to do a segment in a couple days about the potential impact on the markets the Epstein files have. And I've been like trying to think about, if we're not just a crypto stream, what are we? We're speculative entertainment. speculative entertainment. That's what we are. Wherever there's speculation, we rush in there to fucking speculate some more. And so this is like a cool segment just to start the stream and frame it a little bit. I heard this Tulip King gave me this actually on a podcast that Hasib and the boys did. Everyone on here has been on the stream except for Robert Leshner, and I think it's a good place to start. So let's watch 5 minutes of this. I'm gonna talk about it. We'll get into the stream a little bit. Let's go.
Feels like that a little bit.
So one thing that this leads me to think about is like how to think about crypto traders as crypto matures. So I've had in my mind for a long time that crypto traders are like a distinct category of people, and they trade crypto. That's like their thing. Their thing is that they trade crypto, and they're distinct from like the Wall Street Bets guys. They're distinct from the Robinhood YOLOers. They're distinct from the options punters. They're just like a distinct group of people. And what may happen as the industry matures is that we start to stop thinking about them that way, but instead it's almost like a generation.
I think this is all happening right now, by the way, and I think us in our own framing think about this. We've just been calling it internet money. Vicky is like, I don't want to call it crypto Twitter anymore. Let's just call it front lines tech Twitter.
And this generation, like they got into crypto trading at a particular time, and crypto trading was particularly volatile, and there was some alpha to be had in like front-running retail investors. And as crypto becomes more stable and more institutional, and there's less turnover in the top 20 assets, that maybe these people just splinter, and we start to think of them more as like, I don't know, like now we talk about Zoomers, right, as like a shorthand for Gen Z, but really the idea was that, oh, these are all people who took Zoom school. And it was like a behavior that tied them together as opposed
to... It's not why they're called Zoomers, by the way.
To a distinct generation. Maybe that's the way that we will think about crypto traders in 5 to 10 years, is that they're like, I think about this because I think about like poker players. I used to be a professional poker player, and there was a generation of people who played online poker around, the 10-year period between, 2010 and 2020 and, or like 2017. And those people, they don't necessarily have that much in common anymore, right? They all kind of went into different things, but they all had this period in their life where they played online poker. That might be the way that we think about crypto trading in 5 to 10 years. So I'm curious how that lands for you guys.
I mean, yes, like people were attracted to crypto for 2 reasons, right? One is...
This is where I think that we are, by the way. I think what he's about to say, I think is correct. It's like there's the cypherpunk decentralization group of crypto, and then there is the speculative group of crypto, which is probably circa 2024 on. There's obviously some crossover between the two, but most of what we're interested in and most of what trading is the speculative.
Long-term belief.
Listen to like 2 minutes of this, move on.
And one is speculation. And I think the long-term belief piece is still there. But on a day-to-day basis, if you're a believer in Bitcoin, if you're a believer in Ethereum, if you're a believer in Solana, there's not that much for you to do. You're not trading actively. You're hodling, right, per se. You're not a daily active participant. If you're there for speculation, which has always been the history of this, yes, you were a daily active trader. You were trading on Binance. You were trading on DEXs. You were trading on Coinbase. You were trading on everything you could get your hands on, perps, whatever. And I think the speculative people are not speculative only around crypto. They're not loyal to one asset to trade. They're loyal to the game. And they'll go where the action is, just like poker. And if that evolves, they'll go there too. People are not, on the speculation side and the trading side, they're not like maximalists for crypto. They're there because it was a great volatile asset with lots of things happening at all times, with rumors and with hacks and with launches and with new memes and new metas. And it was the best place to trade, period. Like I can't fathom, a market and an asset class that was more fun than crypto for that very extended period of time. But just like poker, the meta evolves a little bit. And I think those people might be moving on as crypto grows up a bit. And it's no longer about relentless, ruthless speculation. It's more about, there's certain things that are working, it's growing up. We're finding the directions that are like hardening and working. And it's no longer as speculative. And so it makes sense to me that they would move on a bit.
Because if we believe that.
So I actually think that crypto has objectively been the best speculative market to play for the last 5-6 years. 2020 on. No, absolutely no doubt about it. I don't even think anything really comes close. There has been this underwhelming underperformance over the last year and some change maybe, but crypto vastly wins. Oh, like clears is what I was trying to say. Crypto clears over the last 5 to 6 years. And I actually think it will continue to be this way. I'm pretty optimistic that our others category, when we talk about the future of on-chain, will continue to clear everything else that there is to trade. And so I don't mean this framing at all. Like, I feel like we've been pushing this framing a little bit. I don't mean this framing at all that we're like done with crypto. I do, however, want to frame our interests and our focus of stream through the lens of just pure speculators with no attachments. You know what I mean? Pure speculation with no attachments. And we're going to, wherever there's the best brewing speculative action, which is really boils down to the most volatility, we are going to rush into fucking play. And until further notice, it's still crypto. I really think that it is. But I like that at the very least, we're paying attention to other things that are budding and that are brewing. And so this brings me to this tweet, which I think is like a reasonable place to start stream today, which is so good. I wholeheartedly believe with this. So this unemployed capital allocator, another gem. Maybe I could do some gem follows. This is a good one. You're welcome. Follow. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Must follow. I have noties on. Doesn't follow me back. It's fine. Tweets. Honestly, man, I don't know how you don't have a mini psychosis when taking account of everything that's happening. Of course, you never want to go full out. You don't want to do stupid shit while on a trip or go so far off the reservation that your brain's regulation system breaks completely. But once you see a bot, i.e. Claude Code, do something that used to take teams of people weeks to do, yes, even with all the flaws, or output a series of tokens that only a human can output, then think about the rate at which surface area is expanding. How could you not lose touch with reality, however briefly? It's like showing people on the Oregon Trail a minivan and expecting them to keep calm. A big part of the mini psychosis can come from just loss of identity that comes with a degree of freedom that these tools provide you with. We spend so much of our days locked into a certain narrow work identity. And this was necessary before because there was a lot of specific knowledge you had to acquire before being able to do anything basic. Not many of us ever had to think about the ultimate question. If you could do anything, what would you do? Another leg comes when you realize that for not an insignificant number of tasks, you actually prefer the bot output versus human output. Vastly so. And this surface area is also increasing at a fast clip. Yes, true expert humans are still far better. Many humans using bots properly, also better than bot alone. But that percentage is not high and it's shrinking rapidly. I'm watching this thing output truly useful stuff in multiple domains, some of which I know intimately. This wasn't true even 1 year ago. So what happens next? It's kind of hard to fathom. To be sure, this is an extremely fine line to walk. To recognize the pace of progress and the significance of breakthroughs being made, and having some crisis of confidence in areas you thought were extremely solid, without going into full-blown psychosis and ruining your life because your brain is too inflexible to think about how we might adapt going forward. There are so many potholes for your brain to fall into. It's probably healthier if you just ignored it altogether. Pretend that it's just a bubble fad, overhyped, clippy, whatever else. I get why people do it. That is one outcome here, is that you could just pretend that what's happening with the rapid advancement of AI, and even in crypto as well, is just a bubble or a fad. But it really is pretty mesmerizing. And by the way, I fixed my Claude Code. My Claude bot. I got it set up the other day. And dude, it's good. It's really good. It's genuinely, my takeaway from this, it's genuinely hard on the back end of the Thicky quote, where Thicky says, you know, I hit my make it number, I logged off for 6 months, and then I realized, holy fuck, I'm so bored, I have to come back. It is genuinely hard to go into a normal world right now and have a conversation with normal people about normal things, knowing what's happening on the intersection of AI in crypto right now. And so, by the way, I thought it sucked, but I was wrong. I had it set up wrong. It's actually good. It's a little bit technical, like it breaks, and you have to have this flow, like this feedback loop where you're constantly copy pasting new code into like Mac terminal and rerunning it and restarting it. It needs care. It needs TLC, but it's fucking good, dude. I'm just like talking to it. It's remembering things. It's proposing things it wants to build for me. Like it's very useful. And so it leads me to this quote that I saw, this tweet, which I think is like a fun thought experiment to pop, and then we can come back to it at a later date, which basically says, if you knew for a fact that LLMs and their ability to think, write, code, and do tasks, trade, were going to continue to advance at their same rate of pace as they are right now, linearly over the next 2 years, what would you do and what's the trade? And I don't really know what the answer to that question is, but I think it's something we should be thinking about more. It's hard to have that much foresight over the next 2 years when we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, I don't even know what's going to happen today. By the time I get off the stream, there might be some new fucking Epstein file. Like, I don't even know what's going to happen today. So it's sort of difficult to have that level of foresight. But I don't really know what the answer is. Like, what would you do in your day-to-day that you're not already doing, or that you are already doing? What would you do more of what you're already doing? You probably would build an audience on Twitter, and you would use these tools as much as humanly possible, is probably what you would do, in my opinion. And so, I don't know. It's like a fun discussion, and it's like a fun topic to think about. Maybe we could do a longer segment on it at a later date. But anyways, that's where we're at. And let us check in on our coins, which have definitely seen better days. Here's the coins. Coins are not great. Bitcoin 76 and is really... Can you go through your Claude bot setup? Yes. I could probably set it up live on stream. It's really easy. This feels lookout below-esque. This level here is like, I don't know what exactly that level is, but it's like basically last cycle ATH. Yeah, look, it's top tick of last cycle ATH, and it really feels like it wants to get tested. I'm surprised we actually didn't sell off more. ETH looks terrible. Sol looks worse somehow. If we're being honest, Sol looks worse. Zcash looks terrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. This right here, by the way, is one of these low volume complacency shoulders, which we fade. That's a Kelism from Tulip King. Gave that to me. This is a low volume. Look at this fucking no volume complacency shoulder. Definitely got some people shaking out on that. Not a good chart at all. Doesn't look good at all. Pump, really bad. Happily, we didn't enter that trade. I was close. I think our level was like 3-3. Wicked it for a second. It retraced it instantly. I never really got a chance to get back into the trade, and we got bailed. And then the chart that looks just sensational, honestly, is this. We're going to do a longer hype segment today. Look, I have it right here. I have Hyperliquid. We have like a bunch of stuff to talk about with Hyperliquid. We'll get to it later today. But it looks really good. It looks really good. The thing about Hyperliquid is it's like the only crypto asset that has benefited from the rotation of crypto as the speculative hot ball of money to metals, because Hyperliquid, like, let's see right now, silver is done. I think it was doing $1 billion on those crazy days. Volume, let's see right now. 24-hour volume, 1.2 billion on silver. And just disgusting. It's maintaining it. And gold's done 400 million. Copper is done 100 million. It is like the only crypto beneficiary from capital moving. And when Bitcoin goes down, hype just like makes more money. It's kind of disgusting. And so this was our entry. This 30, let me go like a shorter time frame. This 35 was our entry that I had highlighted since, let's see where it comes from this. Yeah, it comes from this right here. Like first ATH on hype is this level. Top wick, 35 and some change is where I initially highlighted it. And so I'm like a little bit uncomfortable. So, okay. So my thought process was like, all right, when hype breaks 35 convincingly with volume, I'm in. And so it breaks 35 convincingly with volume higher, the highest it's been since March 25th, right? Basically in a year. huge extreme volume breakup, massive buys coming in. At the same time, like Centrini's posting about it. There's this metals rotation happening, and then Binance is down. It's like kind of the perfect storm for fucking candle piss out. I was a little bit late because I wasn't paying attention to hype. And the reason I wasn't paying attention to hype is that I'm pretty scared of the market right now. Maybe like call me a pussy, but I'm relatively scared of the market right now. And it sort of feels like Hyperliquid is the last alt in crypto where people are safely hiding out. It hasn't really been tested. Like, I don't know. It did go to 20, to be fair. It was at 20 a couple weeks ago, but it has relatively been safe sledding, and it feels like there's a lot of longs in the 20s and in the high teens that are scared and like completely comfortable. And so I sort of was just not paying attention because it felt scary, and it ripped my level, and I sort of just like FOMO longed. And so I'm long hype, maybe 30-40% of my size that I wanted at 37 and 35 right now. And I don't feel good about it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like really feel good about it. I feel like I'm going against my ball tingle a little bit on feeling like the market is really shaky. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I'm just like uncomfortable with the market. I'm uncomfortable with America right now. I'm uncomfortable with how macro things are playing out. I'm uncomfortable with the fucking Epstein files and like people trying to convince me it's a nothing burger. I'm really uncomfortable with how the state of macro markets look right now. And I feel like Max Payne scenario is definitely hype like at $18 and people just getting rinsed. And so we're going to talk about all these things, and we'll do like a longer Hyperliquid segment at why I like it. But I am down to be pretty quick to cut this. I'm down to be quick to add in the 40s with volume, and then I'm down to be quick to cut this thing like below 30. Is kind of where I'm at. So I don't feel that good about it, but I am in the trade at the moment. And it didn't really like convincingly claim my level at all either. Like it like wicked it, and then now it's like retrace this candle. It doesn't look good. So I'm in. We'll do a segment on Hyperliquid like near the end of stream, and we'll cover some more as to why I like it right now. But I am in. Here's the rest of the market. It's like not that exciting. I mean, equities look kind of terrible, dude. Look at these charts. Look at some of these software charts. I'm on 2x leverage, really low. No chance of liquidation. Figma is like the worst chart ever. Adobe is like worse. Circle, terrible. Although I think this might be a trade at some point. MSTR is disgusting. Coinbase is disgusting. Lululemon, disgusting. Robinhood, by the way, is really bad. I think Hyperliquid is part of this loss of excitement in Robinhood, really. I think the immersion of Hyperliquid in these crypto trading venues, and I also think the immersion of Polymarket is hurting Robinhood. I mean, this is bad. This is really, we're down 43% since October highs in 25. It's really a really bad chart. Robinhood. Roblox, our favorite, terrible. Microsoft just getting destroyed, and Bill Gates is he's all over those fucking files. Nvidia, like some of these charts, like these are scary. This is a scary chart. Video. I look at Nvidia weekly. Not great here. Really not great. DraftKings, sports betting stocks are completely fried. Meta, not great. Nike, not great. The Qs look ready to just roll over. Visa, and his chart's insane. SoFi rolling over. Google looks insane. But like this SPY chart is so scary, bro. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It looks just ready to fucking roll over and die. Apple looks pretty good. This is like the last place to hide is memory. Sanders is crazy. Is anyone in this trade? I mean, this wasn't even like I wasn't even thinking about stocks when this starts running, but obviously I am now. My morning routine now, I do market open. Now I'm at EST, I do market open every morning. So I'm like starting to get kind of tapped into what's happening in stocks. I mean, this is like, is anyone in this? Is on, it's insane. But some of these bigger like Palantir, bro. Look at this. Oh, looks scary. They look scary. They look scary. VIX, this is great. SPY always looks like it wants to get destroyed. And then here's metals, which has taken our thunder. Looks, let's go like 4 hour. Doesn't look great. Zeta. Yeah, Zeta. The guy I watch in the morning is always talking about Zeta. Let's add that to the list. This doesn't look great, honestly. It doesn't look great. But so, thinking how to take that was kind of scary, which was that, like, this doesn't look good to me. This doesn't look good at all. This looks like a weak ass bounce back and not good. This doesn't look good, and this looks a little better, but it doesn't look great, these charts. So Thicky's take was like, everyone in the West has had 2 years to allocate to assets, and everyone has just fully allocated. Bitcoin topped it. Tech stocks topped it. SPY topped it. Everything in Western markets has been completely topped. And everybody in the East then full port, fully allocate everything and absolutely rip metals. And he's basically like, there's no money left. Like, there's no money left to buy assets. In which case, I don't really know what's the rotation there. There's like long USDC. But the thought process we've been building for a while is that, or not for a while, but the last couple of days, is that this silver move, and the reason this was able to snap like this is that this money is just speculative capital from normies ripping into these metals. And so I have a crazy tweet here to read to you. Joe Weisenthal, who we could get on stream at some point, got to follow back. I'm hyped. Tweets. The stories coming out of Chinese retail traders racking up gigantic losses in gold don't exactly fit the dollar debasement story, do they? By the way, this narrative is really good for our Bitcoin. Gold and silver ripping as speculative beta and a hot game to play is way better for our Bitcoin than gold's ripping as a debasement trade against the dollar. This is like good propaganda for us. I'm not going to lie. Whether it's true or not, I don't know entirely how you know, but this is good propaganda for us. Seriously, this is important propaganda for us. You really want this to be true, in my opinion. So here's a tweet. For Mary Chen, a 42-year-old homemaker in Hangzhou, the foray into precious metals lasted less than a week. With no prior experience in derivatives, Chen opened a futures account last Monday on the advice of friends. The initial results were promising. She gained 60% on her 1 million yen, $144,000. Investment in just 48 hours. But Friday's sharp drop wiped out those gains and triggered a forced liquidation, leaving her down 84% from the peak. Quote, I never imagined it could be this intense, said Chen, who plans to close her account. It felt like a trip to the casino. So, I think when you read excerpts like this, you don't feel as much fear on Bitcoin's underperformance relative to metals, because you don't want it to be on the behalf of debasement, because that means that we have big time narrative problems. If it's on the behalf of speculative capital, it's like it rotates. It works like it's alt season. Gold rips and silver rips and copper rips and uranium rips and lithium rips and every other metal on the periodic table rips. And it's not like Bitcoin is fundamentally broken. It's just like we don't have the attention today that we had like yesterday. It kind of comes down to that, in which case I don't think it's that extreme, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of that. And so here's one more take for you on like money being squeezed. It's kind of bearish, but Vlad from Robinhood just did the Nelk Boys podcast. And actually, I want to listen to this clip. I haven't heard this clip. I actually want to listen to this. I don't know why I didn't say this clip intentionally, but I want to listen to it.
A handful of times, mostly around two areas. One is crypto, and the other is Invest America Initiative, or Trump Accounts,
yeah.
which is the
Trump Accounts thing is so funny, by the way. It's like it's so. Okay, just play the video.
$1,000 for an investment account for every newborn initiative. If you think about all the things that
It's like permanent stimmies for the rest of time for every newborn. You own some level of Bitcoin, you just never sell it. You own some level of Bitcoin and you never sell it. It's just what you do.
we do as part of running a country, we're racking up debt. Who pays for the debt, right? Future generations. And I think there's relatively few things that flip that. It's like, oh no, we're going to take our money, put them away so that future generations can benefit more. It's like one of the few sacrifices of its kind, I think, is what makes it really special.
For some reason, Vlad from Robinhood going on Nelk Boys to me feels dystopian, bro. It feels like Robinhood knows that there is basically no more money left to get into Robinhood accounts, and they have to just squeeze the college kids that are like gambling $30 on sports games to like get into Robinhood. Like, it feels like this is the last layer of potential money to tap into that exists in America. Like, going after this demographic to me just feels you're going out as far in a risk curve as possible to just like squeeze the last couple dollars of potential capital that could flow in. Like, what do you think Nelk's average age watching is? What do you think the average age viewer of Robinhood is? 18? Or of Nelk, 19, 20? Now, maybe this contradicts my take that everybody will trade, but the people watching Nelk are sports betting. They're not trading. You're not like a sophisticated. Vicky's not watching Nelk, bro. I say this as a former Nelk fan. I used to rock the full set hoodies with the tongue out and the pills on the tongue. You're going after the kid that's betting like $10 parlays on the Super Bowl, on like Shaheed kick return yards and Sam Darnold like rushing yards in the coin toss. That is who you're targeting with the Nelk Boys interview. And dude, it just feels like squeezing near it feels like grindy, you know? It feels grindy near the end. And so I heard this take. I want you to hear me on this take. From Jordy Hayes. Malcolm told me to take from Jordy Hayes on TVPN to the podcast. And he basically had this take, and he said that stake.com and the gambling, RainBet, RueBet, BooBet, the gambling platforms are UBI, universal basic income, for content creators. And they're basically single-handedly keeping the content industry alive. And without the online gambling sites, the Twitch streamer demographic and the YouTuber demo that targets like 20-year-old men does not exist anymore. They basically fund the entire creator economy, the gambling websites. Like, it doesn't really exist without stake.com. Paying for the clips, RainBet sponsoring every single influencer. It's pretty crazy to me, actually, when you really think about it. It's propped up on peanuts, bro. It's actually propped up on... It feels like near the end of some of this stuff, where there's just like, you kind of need like a great reset. That the gambling industry is basically media. Like, media doesn't exist without... What are the RainBet bags? Dude, I think a lot. If I had to guess, most of these mid-tier crypto Twitter accounts that are posting RainBet slips a couple times a week, they're all paid, by the way. No one's using RainBet on their own. No one's posting no one that's like an actual sports bettor that has edge is posting slips. They're not doing it. Dude, I think most of these guys, they're getting way more than they should. Those guys are getting 30, 40, 50, 60K to post a couple bet slips from RainBet because they make so fucking much money and they have no overhead. We could maybe do a gambling epidemic on the gambling sites one day. They have no overhead. They spend no money on anything, just legal. I would imagine just legal. They're all online. They spend no money on anything. They don't have a brick and mortar store. They don't have a physical location. All they need to do is get more people to lose money on their platform. That's it. They also take house edge, right? They're taking a cut of, they're giving you bad lines. It isn't even like Polymarket where it's peer to peer on, like, if you're sports betting on Polymarket, you're peer to peer. If you're sports betting on RainBet, they're giving you worse odds. Even Drake took the gambling deal. Yeah, it's like the creator economy literally doesn't exist without stake.com. And what are the implications of that? I don't really know. I don't really know, but it doesn't feel that good. Honestly, it doesn't feel great when you see, for some reason this like rubbed me weird. I saw this Vlad on Nelk Boys. And I'm like, fuck. This is where we are. Is this where we are? I'm new to crypto. Tell me where to invest. I can't do that, brother. But you can hang out here and you can find some spots. I guarantee it. Is this where we are? It's a weird feeling. So I just thought it was worth calling out and relatively interesting. Before we get to crypto, there's one more thing. I didn't read this yet. You want me to read this? I haven't read this yet. Using Claude Code to deduct the feds. Should I read this or should I just skip it for now? Come back. I haven't read it yet, but it was on my list to cover for stream. I don't like read things anymore. I just bring them to stream and then decide if we should do them then. First off, I've managed to catch. Congrats, brother. Read it? All right, fine. Let's read it real quick, then we'll talk about AI, crypto. Using Claude Code to deduct the feds. What Robinhood did to finance, someone will eventually do to the law. As usual, science fiction predicted this. Set in the nearest future, Accelerando protagonist Manfred Masks uses a network of legal agents to programmably manage an interweaving set of 1 million intertraceable holding companies. Now, I doubt we'll ever see the average enterprising individual managing 1 million companies. 10 to 100 seems possible. We have relatively low incorporation costs in a legal world, which gives a huge advantage to complex legal setups. All the cost is in legal intelligence. Lawyers and advisors and third opinions running up checks on the uninformed. LLMs reduces the cost of this intelligence significantly. It's a matter of time before an intelligence platform will be able to understand the precise multinational legal and banking setup to optimally approach any business or legal problem, if we aren't there already. Once the intelligence becomes synthesized, bundling it with an easy-to-use UI delivers eons of user value. Holy fuck. Why can't I use a BVI company to direct an Estian company, which has joint control over a Brazilian bank account in tandem with a Cayman entity, to send stablecoins to a Singaporean Lanzhou trust to purchase Silk Road Bitcoin that I can use to contract hardware providers in Session to make me a jailbroken contracts with, I can't even pronounce that, intelligence powers. Or, set up a Californian trust to store my house in a privacy efficient way or whatever. Holy fuck. We see how the richest people all use and all their companies move. Layers upon layers of legal wrappers and protections. They just call a guy or even a fleet of guys to do it for them. This is 2026, not Renaissance Florence. Somebody will make a, quote, call a guy and pay him $1,000 an hour into an app. If you are building this, let me know. I have some houses to store in a tax-efficient manner. That's insane, actually. That is a crazy read. Whoa. It's actually a good take, man. That the reason these high level people are able to be so tax efficient, and the reason that I was gonna use the G word, that the normal person is unable to do it, is it's just like complicated learning curve on info. The legal system does heavily benefit complication. That's crazy, actually. That's a sick idea. I've never thought about it like that. Emily, what's good, bro? Thanks for the gifted. I appreciate you. So that leaves us there. Now, something I thought was interesting before we talk about the death of L2s, which we might even just skip. I don't even want to fucking talk. Do you even want to talk about the death of L2s? I don't even fucking want to talk about it. This is interesting, and this really pigtails off our thesis that everybody's going to use AI for their finances, and because you're using AI for your finances, you're going to be giving it money, and because you're giving it money, you're going to give it a wallet. Because you're giving it a wallet, you are going to be using stable coins, and because you are going to be using stable coins, there is going to be a large amount of capital naturally flowing into on-chain. Here's the post. Elon Musk. XAI hiring crypto expert to teach AI models how crypto quantitative traders analyze blockchain data, model tokenomics, evaluate on-chain flows, manage extreme volatility, exploit inefficiencies across centralized and decentralized venues. The one progression that is so obvious to me, it's smacking me in the face, is that the next advancement of LLMs and the next level of adoption for usage of LLMs is going to be with finances. It's going to be with making money in the markets. It is so obviously going to be this. We did the writing thing. It did the art imaging thing. We're working on the like video world creation thing. And it's so obviously going to do the trading thing next. That to me is like the most obvious guarantee we've seen in a while. And I mean, yeah, this is kind of crazy. XAI hiring crypto expert to teach AI models how to trade markets, basically. I mean, this is very obviously going to be a huge trend. Is like, I think he talked about it the other day too. It's like you could imagine there's a plethora of low-hanging fruit trade opportunities in crypto that AI is going to just optimize. And I think it's coming. The thing for us to understand is, what is our trade on the back end of this? I don't really know. I hung out with Frank yesterday, and we talked about crypto AI. It was fun, actually. I had fun. We hung out with Frank yesterday, talked about crypto AI. And I think this agentic commerce thing is just gonna happen. I think it is. I think it's just gonna happen. And I think that the most money, like the most CPM money, is in finance. And a lot of these models are gonna pivot towards finance and focus on the finance thing. And I do think that everyone is going to start using it for finance. It's like the one thing it hasn't been used for yet that it's so obviously going to be used for is finance. And I wish we had a better way to track this. I wish we had a better way to track the adoption of this. Right now, all we have is on-chain coins, which all things considered are pretty good. All things considered, given the macro market and how Bitcoin is trading and how Solana is trading, On-chain volatility is like pretty impressive. Banker trading great. Moltbook, you had 100, went to 120 mil. Penguin ripped out all things considered, the AI side in particular is trading relatively well. I just don't know how to track this. Like, how is it stablecoin market cap? Maybe. Stablecoin market cap sucks though. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's like so fucking boring. It doesn't do anything. It's down in 7 days. It's like so boring. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Stablecoin market cap. It's like the most uninteresting. I don't understand how it's so gay and bad. Like, it doesn't do anything. It just, every time I look at this, stablecoin market cap, it's down on the week. How's it down on the week? How is stablecoin market cap down on the week? It doesn't do anything. It just sits there and just like flaps around. It does nothing. It's so uninteresting. Is that like what we track? What do we track for this? The adoption of this? I don't know. I think it's one of these things that will happen really fast when they do. When it does happen, when everyone, like, I think it's one of these things you'll just know. I think it's one of these things you'll just know. And, you know, another take that relates to this, I wrote this down, is I was talking to Tulip King about this morning. And he basically was saying, like, one of the best trades you can make in markets is to always bet on the new trading venue and the things that they allow you to trade. So 2021, it was bet on OpenSea and the underlying NFTs. And then in like 2024, it's bet on Pump Fun and the new trading venue of meme coins, the underlying. With Hyperliquid, it's like bet on perps. It's harder to bet on the underlying, but you could just buy hype, I guess. It feels to me whatever the next trading venue is, it's gonna involve Claude Code, right? I seem to think this new game, if and when, bro said Trove, stop. Is that a joke? It seems to me that this new game, if and when it's created, is gonna be the thing that I have a Telegram chat with that I could send a voice message to where they could just like build something for me. I seem to think it's gonna be Claude Code. I really do. It really seems that way to me. I think that we're right about this, actually. It might be more time intensive than I would like it to be, but I think it's lining up that way, I believe. It seems to feel like it's going to be Claude Code related or adjacent, if you will. Now, being in a game of predicting this stuff sucks. We talked about it again with Thicky yesterday. Being in the game of prediction sucks because if you're predicting something, you don't really know if you're right or wrong until it's played out. Boss said, if you think AI can trade, you have no idea what trading is. I disagree with that strongly. I think a lot of people hold on to, one of the things I've learned from using the AI stuff is that I think a lot of humans deeply attach themselves to what they think is proprietary DNA and skills that are unique to them, that are really commodities. Like, I would imagine, if we had this conversation yesterday, I would imagine if you were forced to really articulate why you made money on some of the trades that you made money on, it would be underwhelming. If I really asked you, like, articulate and explain to me your edge on your most recent profitable trade, I don't think you would have much, bro. It's like, yeah, a little bit of it. Was it social consensus? Like, a lot of people were talking about it. The AI can do that really well. Was it like fundamentals, cash flow analysis, rating fundamentals? Like, the AI can also do that. Was it like the ratio was off between the number one and the number two of its AI can do this as well? I think if you really had to break down why you have made money on the things that you've made money on, it would be underwhelming. It would be underwhelming. Like, I don't think you would have that much. Like, explain it to me. What's your most recent trade and why did you why did you take the trade and why did you make money on it? I think it would be underwhelming. Which is, it's a weird feeling. Like, it doesn't like feel great to hear that, actually. Like, I've actually struggled with this a little bit. I think a lot of engineers are struggling with this. It's like a lot of people have thought that their ability to code and like design codes or design a code base, AI can never do, and it's seemingly able to do it. Even Epstein said that. Yeah, he did say that. But I think it's wrong. I don't know. It's just a cop-out take. To say ball tingle with no ability to articulate it, it's just like a little bit of a cop-out take, I think. I don't know. It feels like a little bit cop-outy. Like, it's like, all right. So if it's just ball tingle, then by definition, couldn't that be replicated by artificial intelligence? Yeah, here's a good tweet that relates to it. Let me read this tweet and we'll move on. That is a good tweet, actually. Whoever just sent me that. Thank you. This is what I think is happening to that. Big identity crisis in many engineering cycles right now. People who historically consider themselves builders now realizing they aren't the ones building shit anymore. AI is. The moral superiority of I build things, you just talk mentality is irrelevant now that the coding language is English and anyone can build things by talking. The skills that made them so economically valuable are almost fully commoditized, and they're being forced to adopt a new identity. An identity most of them despise and have mocked their entire careers. To remain relevant, they must become the idea guy. If this can happen to writing and it can happen to coding, I don't really see why it couldn't happen to trading, which feels weird. Like I have some level of my identity baked in my ability to like understand emerging markets, but I feel like if it can code, it can fucking trade. And I think it can, man. And I think it's already happening more than you probably think. I think a lot of people hold on to this like I'm a trader thing, and I have like some gut tingle that like nobody else can do. But you might have to give that up. Like I think part of this adopting the AI thing is gonna be like we're gonna have to be okay being fluid, not like gender fluid, but identity fluid a little bit on like what we're interested in and what we trade and being able to like flow in and out of the pocket. Like, bro, you've been trading against the algos for a long time. It's true. Trading on against the algos for a long time. It's gonna be like a put an ego on the table type of thing. I really think that it is. So that is what that is. We can maybe just go to the Trump segment right now. I'm kind of like itching to talk about it because it's like frustrating. Okay. Can I first explain why I'm a little bit bearish right now? And then okay, I'm gonna first explain why I think everybody feels so weird to the best of my ability in the markets right now, and then we could talk about how Trump ruined crypto, and we could just hate today. I woke up feeling like hating today. So, all right, I'm just like gonna like rattle off a bunch of things. Just like help me like think through it a little bit, because I'm trying to formulate this a little bit. Okay, one. I think we're starting to see an increase of these tweets and just froth in the AI industry a little bit, where people are slowly starting to say that things feel toppy. Like the people that are building it are. It really started with that Brad Gerstner clip. It started with that Brad Gerstner clip of him saying, "How the fuck are you going to justify, the $15 trillion that you've promised in the capex?" And Sam Altman says, "Well, Brad, if you would like to sell your share," he goes, "How are you gonna, make this revenue?" He says, "Well, if you would like to sell your shares on secondary, I'm sure we could find you a buyer." He says. Everybody was like, "Wait, what?" And then Jensen and Sam and NVIDIA and OpenAI are like beefing. Not great. And then Sam comes out and he says, quote, "The fusion of AI in some ways is slower than he thought it would be," which to Tulip King's take means OpenAI is going to share their revenue this quarter, and it's going to be like probably really disappointing. And then you see this on this year's big IPOs, and you see no matter how bullish you are on these companies long-term, as I am, understand that they choose when and at what price they sell the shares to you. This is peak adverse selection. Best time to buy their shares is probably during the subsequent market-wide downturn. And so you get OpenAI announcing that they are going to IPO at $1 trillion some point this year, which, at least from the way I understand it, the whole wave of IPOs as usually like some form of top, right? Like it's not the bottom. When OpenAI goes public for $1 trillion, it's like, yeah, they fucking ran out of private money to sell to, so they have to sell to the public money, right? It's like Robinhood going on Nelk Boys. It's like sort of the end of the tail. And then you get SpaceX, XAI does the merger, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna merge right now, and we're actually gonna IPO first. We're gonna like beat them to market. OpenAI is already trying to beat Anthropic to market, and then XAI is like, we are going to beat OpenAI to market, which like doesn't feel great. I mean, I don't have like a ton of history on what happens when big tech companies IPO all at the same time, but it doesn't like really feel great. At the same time, Kevin Warsh gets appointed as the Fed chair, which we haven't really talked about that much, but everything I've read about him is that he's like hawkish as fuck and is super down to shrink the balance sheet, crank rates, and nuke things for a while to make the dollar stronger. At the same time, you have this happening. Gold going on the most like parabolic run ever. And I think we can attribute some of it to the speculative hot ball of money following the flows. But the speculative hot ball of money only follows momentum, which, as we understand it and have talked about for a while, the momentum is probably coming from exodus flight out of U.S. risk and U.S. treasuries and U.S. assets and into some diversification of a la gold, and then everything else followed. Like the momentum has to start from somewhere, right? And it wasn't the Chinese grandmas that started this run. Maybe it was they were here, the Chinese grandmas, but they weren't like here. Okay, and so there's just like everyone that like throws around the doom pills. The doom pill that they're throwing around is the US and the dollar is losing like reserve currency status and people are fleeing out of US exposure. And so there's just like uncertainty in the US. And so the one thing that I'm so stuck on here is that I can't get over this like Epstein files thing and thinking this is like a really big deal. And I feel like everything on social media is trying to convince me that this is not a big deal and that we're going to just get over this and move on from this. But I can't help but feel that on the back end of people just being afraid and uncertain of the US market, basically, that a public mass expose of the president and basically every single tech leader in the United States is involved, provably, verifiably involved in this like dark pedo sex ring for like 15 years, and everybody's in on it and everybody knew. And only like 1% of what they know has been released to the public. And it's what they released is so bad and also was willingly released. Think about this. Willingly released. This is what they willingly released after withholding it for like 10 plus years. You can only imagine what the rest of these files contain. Everybody was lying. Everybody was in on it. Everybody is part of it. And everyone that's part of it basically is responsible for the GDP of the United States of America. At the same time, it's like the snipe after there's been this exodus flight away from US exposure post, Russia, Ukraine 2023. Bro, I can't get this out. I can't stop thinking about this. I've been thinking about it all day, and I hate that I don't have the level of sophistication to think 3, 4, 5 orders ahead of what the implications are of this. But I refuse to accept that it's nothing, bro. How could it be nothing? How could it be nothing? At the same time that SPY looks like it's ready to roll over, at the same time that like all the AI companies are like rushing to go public at the same time that like people are pumping gold, like copper as beta to uranium, is beta to platinum, is beta to silver, is beta to like gold. At the same time that crypto is getting destroyed, like, I don't know. Maybe we could do a segment on this later in this week. Also, I don't mean to like doom pill, bear pill you, but I wanted to like come out on stream and talk about it, where I feel like social media is trying to convince me that this is not a big deal. And I don't, dude, it's like a big deal. I feel like it's a big deal. And I feel like I just found out Santa Claus isn't real for the first time. Because it's like, the reason I think it's a big deal is that the interweavings of this thing are so deep and extreme that the reason it couldn't come out is that no enemy of another enemy could in power could put this thing out, because by putting it out to take someone down, you're going to take down your entire team and their entire team and the third party's entire team, because everybody was just like involved. It's like a massive STD that's spread to the whole. It's like a respiratory virus. It's like COVID. It's like everybody's involved. And so if you want to give somebody COVID to like take them down, you also expose everybody else to it. It's like so bad. And so someone was like, okay, well, we had like Watergate in 1971 or whatever, 1972, where Nixon, like, he was the president. That's bad. The market's dumped after that. But like, this is so much worse than the president, because it's the president and there's the president and, bro, it's and everybody else and it's like the president and the rest of everybody else. And I need to spend more time like reading about it, maybe writing about it, maybe thinking. Part of the reason I want to make this Telegram, thinking through it, covering the stuff, because I refuse to accept that this is not important to the world. This is not. I know internet culture in 2026, because everybody is so terminally online, the volatility of news stories just whips through and we move on to the next thing, and some tragic event happens and we're already on to the next thing by the next day. But for some reason, I don't think this is just going to be like, this isn't going away to me. Like, look at this. Let me see if I can find this clip. Like, look at this file. This shit isn't going away. It's not going away. This is not going to be.
Suggest that Bill Gates.
My headphones disconnected. This is Bill Gates' ex-wife, who's all over them.
Gates had additional affairs, and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection, and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond.
Honestly, I don't even want to watch this. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to watch this because it's just like foul. But Melinda Gates is like going on a news tour talking about he needs to answer questions about this. Press him about this. He has to answer questions about this. He needs to address this. Like, dude, I saw this clip of Howard Lutnick, who I think was second in running, who was going to be the SEC chair before Paul Atkins after Gensler. And there's this like news story of him talking on this interview from like 2015, talking about how Jeffrey Epstein is like a disgusting human and how he would never, ever, ever be seen or caught with that disgusting, vile human ever again. He goes in this like emotion, dude, it's like emotional. It's like this emotion. It's on the CoffeeZilla video. Maybe we'll watch the CoffeeZilla video at the end. He goes in this like emotional, animated rant about how disgusting of a vile human Epstein is. He'll never be seen with him again. And then they release the files, and like multiple years later, he's emailing Epstein like, "Yo, Big Jeff, let me pull up. Let me come over. Like, let's kick it. Like, let's party." It's like, no, dude, it's everybody. It's the whole interweavings of America, basically, including the president. It's the interweavings of America. Everybody that like makes up this country. And I don't know. I'm just so like distraught by this. Like I'm really like scarred by this thing, and I don't really know. I don't understand entirely how it's gonna impact markets or what it means, but it can't be good for U.S. markets. Like it can't. Let me ask Claude real quick. It can't be good for U.S. markets, and dude, I feel like crazy because I'm like reading tweets and people are just like acting like it's not a thing. Like, let's see. What happened to U.S. markets after Nixon resigned from Watergate? Like, what were the implications? Where does the money flock to? That's the thing. I don't know. It really should be long Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is like Trump beta now. It's like Bitcoin's like become like Epstein beta, bro. It's like so interwoven with all of this. Nixon resigned in August 7, 1974. The resignation itself was a non-event for markets. By the time he actually stepped down, it was fully priced in. The market had been destroyed for other reasons. It dropped 48% during 73, 74. This is when gold ripped. After he left, it dropped 38%. Watergate was more symptom than cause. The political chaos reflected broader institutional rot happening alongside real economic problems. Market didn't rally on his departure because the structural issues remained. I don't know. I just refuse to accept that we just move on from this and that this doesn't have, if the narrative is real that people are fleeting U.S. risk exposure, U.S. assets, the dollar, treasuries, bonds, and fleeting into other assets, I can't accept that the Epstein file long-term blowback wouldn't accelerate that trend. That's basically my take. I refuse to accept it has no impact. I can't accept it, bro. It's just like I'm fucking American as fuck. Born here. I'm hella patriotic. I love this shit. I voted for Trump. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm so jaded by this because I feel like a lot of people, it's like not a hot take to think that like, oh yeah, the like elites, the American elites are like doing weird stuff. I don't think that's a foreign or a hot take. Like I think people that are like in the know and that are like deep in the system and like on the emerging lines probably relatively like have felt this way for a while. You know, there's some like weird stuff going on, but the difference is it being broadcasted on a fucking Times Square billboard in front of the entire world for everybody to see. It's like going to a magic show is cool because you know it's fake, but like they don't tell you it's fake. He doesn't like tell you how he does the trick. Like he whips the bird out and then he pulls it back. And like, yes, the bird is like dying. There's a cage underneath and it dies when he pulls it back in. And they just like spam birds. But he doesn't tell you he killed the bird to pull it back in. He just spawns a new bird and there's no way for you to know it's the same thing. And people like go to a magic show and they want to get psyoped and they want to play along and they want to be part of it. They just like submit to it. You kind of let loose. You have a couple, they force you to have a couple drinks and you just like, you enjoy the show. But if the magician started and he's like, okay, here's what's going to happen is I'm going to go like this. A bird's going to come out of my sleeve. And then when I pull it back, it's actually getting its head chopped off in a cage behind the table. So when I put it back out, it's a new bird. And we actually have like a breeding farm where we have 100 birds and we kill like 20 birds in the magic show. And so when I do the trick, like get ready. That's what I feel like just happened. That's what just happened. And everyone's like, what the fuck? So I don't know. I can move on from this because I obviously don't have super sophisticated takes on the implications of this. I'm more so just like looking for someone to talk to about it. Like I'm kind of like fucked up over it a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really had time to like digest it. I'm like reading these things. I'm wishing I didn't read them. And so it's like, yeah, Trump's not gonna let the market go lower, but it's like, man, Trump's doing everything in his possible power to keep this thing up right now. And it doesn't look, there's a couple places to hide, man. There's not that many places to hide right now. There's a couple places to hide. Couple places to hide. You could be hiding in memory stocks for a while. You could have been hiding in big tech for a while, but not right now. Can't hide in crypto. Can't hide in SaaS. And you could maybe fleet it to metals. But the snap. This is what I'll say, and we'll move on. By the way, someone said, should I sell Bitcoin? In my opinion, you never sell Bitcoin. I think it's the greatest asset ever. It will at some point in the future, it will no longer be Epstein beta, and we will like, Bitcoin will decouple from this like Americanism thing, and it will just be what it's supposed to be: store of value, hard money. But it does feel like the speed run in American culture from wokeism to MAGA, band snapback to like range low on a reverse counter trend is gonna happen really fast. I think it's happened really fast in America. Like it has happened abnormally fast because man, they just started grifting. You know, it's like Vicky said, it was like a counter trend. We fucking ripped range highs back into far right ideology, and then it just got like grifty, bro. It got gross. It got grifty. How did it get so grifty? Why did it get so grifty? I don't really know, but it did. It got grifty, man. It got grifty, got scammy. It just got like gross, and then it's just, I don't know. I believe, at least on the optimistic side, I believe Trump is watching the 5-minute chart. He's watching the 5-minute chart, and the only way, his only scoreboard for the presidency and how he's doing is the price of SPX. I believe that to be true, and that is a reason to be optimistic because he will do everything in his fucking power. Probably gonna start talking about rate cuts again. He'll do everything in his power to keep that thing up. But I will just say this, and I'll move on. It's like a weird time. It's a weird time to be in America right now. A weird time. A weird time in America right now. I'm sorry, it is. And maybe we'll do a segment on this later, but that's my completely just ramble fuck takes. And yeah, the next topic is pretty dark. This is the next topic if we're going to do it. Should we do this right now? We could do this right now. We could do this right now, actually. I'm down to do this right now. We could do it right now. Or we can talk about the death of L2s. Let me, I'm going to jump for a minute. I'll be back in... The stream is a real downer. No, we cover what's happening at the moment. It's not supposed to be a downer, but there's some things to be downer about. There are some things to be downer about. I'll be back in like give me 1 minute. We'll be right back. By the way, did you like the segment we just did. It was unplanned. I don't know. I felt like I want to cover this. It is our job to cover this stuff on the stream. If we are really gonna exist on the front lines of culture and tech and markets, we are just. This is bro. It's happening in the world. It is happening in the real world, and it affects our life. I don't know. Like, fuck. How many of y'all live in America? I just feel like I'm fucking like no one's concerned about this. It's like the definition of a trader is your ability to flip-flop sentiment on new information. It just is. There's times to be bullish, there's times to be bearish, there's times to be cautious. And I think right now is a time to be cautious. Because I fucking love I'm American as fuck. And I love America, bro. I love my fucking country. I ride or die for America. I was born here. I'll probably die here. But you know, the worst thing you could do for something you care about is be unable to criticize it. That's like the biggest mistake you could make. So, anyways, let us segue into something optimistic right here, right now. Oh, man. Oh, man. Should we do it? You want to do it? I think it's a good segment. We put some work into it. Mr. President, I'm tired of winning. Tired of winning. You want to do it? It's a good recap of where we are, especially for people that are relatively new to crypto. Let's do it. Okay. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. This is gonna be a YouTube video as well. So say hi, YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Say hi. Hi, YouTube. Hi. Also, no one told me my fit looks good today. Not one person commented on my fit. Let's go YouTube. All right. Luke, I'm recording. Hi, YouTube. I'm gay, he says. All right. Here's the deal. Before we start, yes, we'll talk about Metallica after. Before we start, I think that Thicky articulated it really well. I'm gonna just keep referencing Thicky because you got that dick ups. No, because he's just a sharp guy. That there's some delta in between narrative and price, and it impacts it. How much does it impact it? Relatively unclear. Sometimes it's hard entirely to know, and it's maybe not that helpful to speculate on things we don't know for sure as to why an asset is down. But I think in the case of Trump and crypto, in Bitcoin specifically, I think it's important to get on a level playing field with the take that Trump has not been good for crypto. I don't really believe that he has. And I think we should work on a level playing field of mutual understanding as to why I believe this. Yeah, she's good. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do the segment. Sorry, I got distracted. So, what we're going to talk about right now is, quote, how Trump destroyed crypto. But really what we're going to talk about is how the narrative of Bitcoin and crypto in America has sort of been a complete disaster, and really nothing positive at all has come from Donald Trump and his presidency on the effects of crypto since he came into office. Like, Trump has really done nothing good for crypto since he's come into office, and that is not what the public narrative is. And I think we should talk about it. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me start with cool. So this is like important place to start is that Donald Trump didn't run for president on the basis of crypto, but crypto was a legitimate topic in his presidential run that got covered a lot, and there was a lot of big promises that were made. Like this, it was frequently mentioned. He appeared at Bitcoin Nashville. He appeared at a lot of conferences. The word Bitcoin was said a ton in his campaign. And I like to believe that through sheer votes and definitely through donations, the crypto crowd had a legitimate, tangible impact on Trump getting elected. And so he threw a lot of terms around. More often than not, he was just screaming he's going to make America the crypto capital of the world. One of the things that was exciting for the crypto natives that he promised was this idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve that they, one, would never sell the Bitcoin that America has, which is a lot. I believe it's like 200,000 Bitcoin. And two, that they would potentially buy Bitcoin at some potential spot. Two other promises that were made were, one, to remove Gary Gensler as the SEC chair, who was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to crypto. And then two was to pardon Ross Ulbricht, which was a very popular decision. Ross, infamously from the Silk Road, which he did follow through on. And then Gary Gensler, who did resign and did step down. And I do think that Gary Gensler leaving crypto has had like an incredible impact for the positive. Paul Atkins has stepped in as SEC chair, and that did happen. Gary did resign. But okay, we have a couple clips here. It's like, I was here when this happened. I was at this conference at Bitcoin Nashville.
I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC.
Listen to the crowd. And then he goes, I'll say it again. I will fire Gary Gensler. Whatever. Whoa! I'm in the audience. It's 2024. AI coins are going parabolic. Crypto is like ready to rip. Trump's about to win. Everyone is so optimistic. I believe 2024, right before Trump won the election, was the most excitement there has ever been in one singular time around cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically. It was fucking euphoric. And getting rid of Gensler, he technically resigned, is no doubt about it one of the best things ever. Like, if Gensler's still in office, we might be at 10K. We might be at 10K on Bitcoin. And so there's this.
On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
Bro, I was here. I'm in the audience. He's like, say it with me. I will fire Gary Gensler. Everyone's in the crowd. I will fire Gary Gensler. Everyone's fucking drinking and ripping and throwing. It's like graduation, throwing their hat in here. Fire Gary. You know, fuck Gary Gensler. Fuck Gary. People are chanting it. Dude, seriously, if you weren't there, it's hard for me to explain to you how just exciting Bitcoin Nashville, Tennessee 2024 was. Trump is there. I will make America. We will bring all the Bitcoin back to America. It was like, dude, I'm fucking patriotic. I will make America the crypto capital of the world. Wow! Everyone pumping their fists in the air. Dude, it was euphoric, man. It was fucking utterly euphoric. This was there too. This is seriously one of the best conferences ever. Listen to this.
But for too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right?
Whoa! Never sell your Bitcoin. It's like, bro, it's like you gotta imagine that. We'll talk about this later, but we're just getting off a 4-year presidency of Joe Biden and the Democrats who absolutely fucking hate crypto. Elizabeth Warren, senator, has her like destroy Bitcoin mandate. Gary Gensler has been the chairman of the SEC for the last however long. He's actively trying to destroy it. People that are launching crypto projects in the United States are being persecuted and are going to jail, and everyone's fleeing the country. People are in Dubai. If you want to be in crypto and you live in America, it's just not going to work. We just got done with, for as long as crypto has existed, this was the case. And then we go to a conference and Trump shows up and he's talking like this, bro. Never sell your Bitcoin.
No rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right?
It's like,
that's right, isn't it, huh? That's right. How did I figure that one? Never sell your Bitcoin.
Just
And
says it again.
as the final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. As you know, most of the Bitcoin currently held by the United States government was obtained through law.
Can you imagine your entire life in this emerging technology that you know is fundamentally going to change the world and the financial system as we know it has just been beaten down by your own government? America, that's supposed to be the tech capital of the world. America is supposed to breed innovation and breed forward thinking and breed thinkers. America is technology. America is the software revolution. America is the internet revolution. It happens here. And you have the future of finance in your palm, and you're actively trying to build this thing. And the leaders of your country are taking you down every step. Jail, prison, lawsuit. And then the presidential candidate, who you are almost positive is going to win, shows up at a Bitcoin conference with a bunch of Bitcoin nerds and says, never sell your Bitcoin. America will be the crypto capital of the world. And we are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We're never going to sell, and we're maybe going to buy. I mean, this was like, dude, if you're in crypto, you're fucking voting for... I'm a single issue voter. I will forever probably be a single issue voter. My issue that I vote on is the Bitcoin price. And if you care about the Bitcoin price, bro, you're fucking a Trump. You're like all in. You're all fucking in, okay? And so these are the vibes. This is, here's one where we have to just watch it. It's like, it's important context to understand where we were. Look at this.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
We're like, oh!
If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not.
So he's like, we're going to mine all the Bitcoin in the USA. And you're in the audience thinking, this guy has absolutely no fucking clue what he's talking about. But who cares? Who cares if he knows what he's talking about? America, crypto capital of the world. Who cares? Yes, that's impossible. And yes, you can't mine all the Bitcoin back to America. But fuck it. American Bitcoin. I'm in the audience. I'm saying, fuck it. Mine America. I'm telling you, bro, people, me and everyone else in the audience is saying, fuck it. Mine the Bitcoin in America. Bring the Bitcoin back to America. Fuck it. American Bitcoin.
Going to be made anywhere else.
It's like, yeah, you can't make them in America, but who fuck it. Make the Bitcoin in America. We're screaming it, bro.
And
like,
Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say. It's going to the moon.
Bitcoin's going to the moon.
I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me.
We're not. At all. We're not very happy with you.
Going to be so happy. You're going to say he's the greatest guy. That's why I'm proud to be the first major party nominee in American history to accept donations in Bitcoin and crypto. And they've made a lot of them, I might tell you. And I appreciate it. Since we made that announcement on May 21st, we have already raised $25 million, much of it in Bitcoin, crypto, and others that are very, very good also. But as you know, our
excitement... He doesn't even know what he's saying, and we don't care.
About the future.
I don't care that he doesn't know at the time.
The future of Bitcoin and crypto could not be more difficult from the approach of our opponents. Can't be... Look, our opponents have gone a difficult route. They're going old-fashioned stuff. We're going to take it right down the middle. We're so different from anybody else in terms of a campaign. First of all, we understand it. They don't understand it. They are
He doesn't understand it.
Blocking your path. They're blocking your way. But I've made it a lot easier for you because the SEC's been...
And like they throw up the donation. Text Bitcoin to 801-801 and donate in Bitcoin right now. During the clip.
Very, very tough on you. And now they see that you've embraced me. All of a sudden, people that were under investigation, they're being let go. They're saying, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We love crypto. Let me tell you, if they win this election, every one of you will be gone. They will be vicious. They will be ruthless. They will do things that you wouldn't believe. But right now, because of me, they're leaving you alone. So please say thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much.
Everyone's like, thank you, President Trump. Seriously, I'm in the audience. I'm screaming it. Dude, I wasn't even there for this part. I'm watching. The doors were closed. I'm in the back auditorium and I'm screaming, thank you, President Trump. I'm screaming it.
You alone. So please say thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much.
Look at that. I'm screaming it.
And the reason they're doing that is I've heard from some of your great geniuses that talk to me about this subject. I've heard from Vivek. 175 million people in some form are involved with this world of crypto.
By the way, the genius who ran this conference and was, appointing Trump is David Bailey, who runs Nakamoto, who basically invented the idea of a DAT, digital asset treasury company, that wasn't MSTR. And basically, I mean, I'm not gonna say he started the DAT run, but he came right after Saylor and was the first person to fucking push this thing as hard as anyone. And that is who ran Bitcoin Nashville, just for some context. Side, pop up a Nakamoto chart on the screen, and we could keep moving. So this is the vibe. I mean, this is where we were. This is where we were. 2024. I think it was the most euphoric we've ever been, probably, about crypto. Let me fix this presentation real quick. I fucked it up. Hold on. And so, hold on. Hold on. There you go. Okay, we're back. And so those are the expectations. Okay, that's like how we got here. I think that is how we got here. And it's like important context to cover. Now, something that's very worth calling out is that regardless of how bad Trump sentiment is right now amongst the crypto cohort, he's undeniably the lesser of two evils. Because what we had before was really disastrous, okay? Biden was the president, and they were running Operation Choke Point 2.0, and crypto was in its crosshairs, okay? And the Biden administration was under Gary Gensler, or I guess above Gary Gensler, was basically persecuting anyone that was trying anything innovative in crypto that was from America. And not only were they persecuting anyone that was trying anything, but they basically refused to provide guidelines on what is legal and what is not. And because they refused to provide guidelines, we basically wasted years that we'll never get back in crypto of some of the smartest minds here, active, cognizant, but afraid to try anything due to a lack of clarity. I would almost argue a lack of clarity and gray area, which is fundamentally inexcusable, is just as bad, if not worse, from an outright ban. Because at least if it's banned, you know what you can and can't do. If it's a gray area, a lack of clarity with persecution on the back end, people are just getting fucked and it's out of your control. It's like getting fucked out of your control is just brutal. We also had Elizabeth Warren running the fucking show, Senator Warren, and her anti-crypto army, which was unfathomable, again, that this was being marketed as Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army. And yes, Senator Warren, crypto puts financial system in the hands of shadowy super coders. It's maybe not the worst take in the world. And so at the beginning of the Kamala campaign, they were super anti-crypto. And what I think happened is they see Trump latch on to crypto and embrace it and get a fuck ton of money in donations and a lot of powerful political backing due to the crossover of, status and crypto relationship. And they see that and they're like, oh, fuck, we need to maybe endorse this as well. And so the back end of her campaign, Kamala campaign like did endorse crypto a little bit and they started talking about it a little bit, but it was very clear they had no idea what was going on. Gensler probably stays in office if Kamala wins, and we don't get the Genius Act passed. We don't get Clarity Act with any progress whatsoever. And Gensler probably stays in office. And so all things considered, this is definitely the lesser of two evils. And the one thing you could say about Trump is Trump has a history of being politically persecuted and being debanked. And so at the very least, even if you think, which I sort of think he has absolutely no idea what's happening in crypto, I do think he fundamentally understands why something like a Bitcoin could be valuable. That I think is true. I do genuinely think it's true. And the thing I'll say is, like, I said it before, I'll say it again just for the sake of the YouTube video. I voted for Trump. And I voted for Trump. It's the first time I ever voted in an election. I think I could vote in 2020. I was 18, 2020, but I didn't vote. And I voted for Trump as a single issue voter. And my single issue was the Bitcoin price, which is now lower than it was when I voted for him. But I mean, man, I think basically everyone in crypto did as well. And I also generally think he's better for we'll cover this at the end. I think he's better for the market than not. I think the fact that he's watching the 15-minute chart is fucking awesome. But I voted for him as a single issue voter, which is the Bitcoin price, and it hasn't really played out the way that I wanted it to, despite some good things. So a new friendlier SEC came in, and this, whether you give Trump credit for it or not, is the best thing that's ever happened to crypto. Okay. And on Trump's first day in office, Gary Gensler, chairman of the SEC, resigned. And if Gary Gensler doesn't resign, crypto is undeniably in a significantly worse place than it is right now. If Gary Gensler does not resign, I don't even know what this industry is. I bet you this stream, if Gary Gensler doesn't resign, I'm not sure the stream exists. Definitely Genius Act doesn't pass. Definitely Clarity doesn't get as far as it has. And we are in a way worse spot. US probably sells the Bitcoin. Like, there's no doubt about this. If Gary doesn't resign, we are in a much, much, much worse place. His term at the helm of the SEC was a true reign of terror. There's over 100 anti-crypto lawsuits. And more than anything, there was just extreme gray area. Like, you didn't know what, it's like, again, you didn't know what was legal. And so it just halts innovation. Now, it's kind of ironic that there was this class of crypto traders that are almost, ironically, but tongue-in-cheek, a little bit begging for Gensler to come back. Because, you know, without Gary Gensler, the good thing is there's less crypto lawsuits. But without Gary Gensler, the bad thing is there's less crypto lawsuits. And what has sort of taken in his place is probably the most blatantly in-your-face, scammy, extractive crypto era that we've ever seen. People aren't afraid. People know they're not going to be attacked. And as we're going to get to in a second, when the president of the United States is using crypto as an extraction vehicle, what do you think everybody else is going to do? Probably follow in his footsteps. And so while there's no possible way I can say with a straight face crypto would be better off with Gary Gensler, it is with Gary Gensler still at the helm. There are some negative things that have happened as a result. Okay, I think that is like a fair statement to make. I don't even know what this clip is. Let me watch this.
How much of a difference has David Sachs made in the first 6 months as crypto czar for your industry?
Oh, it's been incredible. I mean, I think it's night and day. I don't know if the industry would have survived another 4 years of the Gensler.
Yeah.
How have things changed for you in the last year?
Yeah, well, I know you like to call balls and strikes, and I think just looking at it objectively, you know, the Biden administration really tried to unlawfully kill this industry in America, but from my point of view. And Donald J. Trump, you got to give him credit. I mean, he campaigned on this idea of making the United States the crypto.
Yeah, like you hear, this is Anatoly from Solana, this is Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, and sentiment is basically like, if Gary Gensler stays 4 more years, I don't think crypto makes it. And we could put a pin on it on that note. It's the creator of Coinbase and the creator of Solana. That's their take. There's no way to really fundamentally disagree with their take. That's the take. I guess this is correct. And so I think part of people's frustrations are what was promised from Trump admin was just like relatively underwhelming. One, we had the strategic Bitcoin reserve, which for some reason there was a narrative that the United States government was going to buy Bitcoin in the strategic reserve. That probably was never happening, but it definitely didn't happen. And so the strategic Bitcoin reserve sort of pans out to just be a nothing burger, which is that the United States has a lot of Bitcoin. I think they have like 200,000 and some change. Maybe I'm wrong about that, or maybe I just made that up. I think they have about 200,000 Bitcoin and some change from the Silk Road and other seizures. And they have basically said they're never going to sell it. But they weren't going to sell it anyways, to be fair. They were not going to sell it anyways. And them selling it would be nuclear to the price, just off sheer size, narrative aside. Them selling it would be nuclear. But they have 330,000, which is, I mean, they're like, I think they're like they're top 10 biggest holder in the world. I think Sailor has close to 1 million. Sailor has like 800,000, 900,000. So the strategic Bitcoin reserve plays out to be extremely underwhelming. Senator Loomis, who was also at that Bitcoin Nashville conference, proposed the Bitcoin Act, which would be the United States basically market buying 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years, which is 5% of the supply. That was never going to pass and never going to happen, but it was rallied around and hype was built around it. And so instead, we got David Sachs as the AI and crypto czar, who it's hard to tell as just a retail fish as I am, how much impact he has had on the industry since coming into office and being part of the Trump admin. At the very least, you get a tech mogul in the ear of Trump who understands the technology. I think he's an investor in Solana and can speak our language. And since Sachs came in as the AI and crypto czar, Genius Act gets passed, basically allowing stablecoins compliance and guidelines on how to operate being legal in the United States. And we get progress on the Clarity Act, but it's hard to speak on what impact the Clarity Act will have if getting passed, because it's not passed. There's no way to really know. And so I think if nothing else, you could say that David Sachs getting appointed as a crypto and AI czar is the best thing that Trump has done to the cryptocurrency industry. Because you could basically credit Sachs with the Genius Act. You could maybe credit him on helping the strategic Bitcoin reserve not sell, even though they were not going to sell anyways. And I think he's like our bright spot. Honestly, I think he's our bright spot. I think he's Mark Safe from the files as well, which is like a big bonus. Mark Safe from the files. And I think he is probably our like bright spot. Now, my frustration on the Trump admin and crypto stems from how this has basically evolved into like, we kind of have to call this shit out. It's basically evolved into an extraction vehicle. And I think it's hurt us. I genuinely think this has hurt us. And so this is basically a history of Donald Trump and the Trump family like extracting from crypto. And so it started with the NFTs, which sort of they were fun, in my opinion. The NFTs had no harm in anything and they were fun. He launched 4 collections. They had some level of utility where if you bought $25,000 worth of the NFTs, you got to go to a Trump dinner at Mar-a-Lago. And I did it. This is me. I went. And I shook his hand and he had fucking aura and he was tall and like attractive. and he was cool, and he shook my hand, and he talked to me, and it was a fucking movie, and it did a lot for my career. And I look back on this super fondly. And I was, bro, I'm telling you, at this time, I'm like so optimistic about, I believe he was the president at this point. I think he was president. Yeah, he was the president at this point. He was the president. And it was just like hard to believe that like the president of the United States is like doing crypto dinner. It was fucking, honestly, it was awesome. So he did the NFTs, which are relatively a nothing burger. But this moment where Trump, followed by Melania Trump, launched meme coin #1 and meme coin #2, I think hurt the crypto industry a extreme magnitude that we just haven't really recovered from. And so you got to understand, leading up to this point, it's like very unclear what the rules are. Still, Clarity Act isn't passed. Are meme coins legal? Can you deploy it in the United States? Can you launch a token? It's like very unclear what you can do. And on January 17th, 2025, the president of the United States comes out and he launches a meme coin. And his meme coin peaks at $17 billion circulating market cap hours after the launch, and basically went down only. It never even attempted a green candle back up. And I think what followed this caused insurmountable damage to crypto. I mean, there was billions of dollars pulled out of this. This number is wrong. She went to $77 billion market cap. I think FDV circulating maybe was lower. FDV was $77 billion in like 3 days. One of the craziest wealth generation moments in a long time. And I mean, insiders made billions liquid out of this. Billions with B's. To this day, it's the craziest day I've ever experienced in crypto. And I'm not sure it can ever really be replicated. And, you know, I think what happened after, 3 days after what happened, the crypto industry will probably never forgive Trump for. And they launched Melania Coin, which obviously everybody knows, at least on the stream. YouTube, you might not know. I don't really have to like rehash what has happened with Melania Coin, but it was the moment, you know, we have it. Second coin has hit the tower. It was the moment that on-chain died officially, gunshot to the head. Second extractive event. It basically revealed that he doesn't even know what's happening. He has some team convincing them to launch these coins. Trump coin gets destroyed because Melania coin extracts from it, and they both basically go to zero. Billions are extracted, and on-chain in the meme coin era is kind of as we know it, like dead. And there's been recoveries, and I actually think right now it's in a decent place. But as we know it, this was the moment you could pinpoint to where everything just became disastrous in crypto. It was this moment right here. I mean, this tweet right here, like, fundamentally changed the industry forever, I think. And there's ways to look at it. Like, the Trump coin was unmitigated bullish for the industry. It shows an extreme willingness to immediately stop enforcement of a whole host of laws hampering the industry. It will spark a decline in trust in fiat currency. It will onboard many new users. Look, there are bright spots from this, which are, it basically gave the green light that crypto is okay in the US. Whether regulation has caught up or not, crypto is okay in the US. That's good. But what it did as far as confidence in the industry and sentiment and day in, day out traders' ability to move in this space was a serious hit. I mean, it just was. It was a serious hit. And I think it brought reputational damage that is hard to measure and also hard to reverse to the crypto industry, as painting it as one giant scam that people don't take seriously. I don't think that has like changed. And so this to me is where it just gets disastrous. They dropped World Liberty Financial, which is basically a DeFi platform. It's like an Aave fork. 75% of the revenue goes to Trump. 20% goes to Aave. And I think this territory here is where we get to feeling like the Trump family just wants to destroy crypto. Like you just like see this and you're like, all right, these people don't really care. They just want to take money out of this thing. And this announcement came out the other day that I think is pretty dark, which is this the Sheik bought stake in the Trump company, and this Abu Dhabi royalty bought a 49% stake in the Trump family's cryptocurrency. I think he spent $500 million, and basically foreign leaders are just using World Liberty Fi as a venue to buy political influence over the United States. It's like kind of what this is acting as, right? I mean, it's like basically what this is. No one's using it to execute DeFi transactions. I mean, this is like a unregulated vehicle to buy political influence in America is what this is. And this report was leaked and somebody asked Trump about this, and he said he has no idea and that his sons manage all of this. And so his sons, Eric Trump, whoever, Donald Trump Jr., who's been involved in some weird crypto stuff, basically have the green light to use the Trump name to do whatever they want. And they're very clearly just doing weird stuff. Like, I don't know. This is like not what you want to see. Buying 49%, $500 million, like other world powers buying political influence over the United States. They spent $500 million on it. And I mean, this is what the chart looks like. It's been down only. It's really just been an extraction vehicle. And it's just a bad look. It's a bad look for America. And they launched USD1 as well, their own stablecoin. This to me is like kind of a nothing burger. It's the 5th biggest stablecoin. It's not that interesting. And I don't think there's like huge extraction that's coming from this. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. We're not going to go over this, but this is the financial web of Trump involvements in markets and crypto. It's just like so elaborate. You can't even follow how many hands they have their things on. It's just like so elaborate. And it brings me to one of the craziest stats I've ever seen. Estimated value of assets of Donald Trump and his family. In 2026, crypto holdings represent more than 20% of the Trump's family wealth for the first time. That is insane, bro. Crypto, this thing that they're new to, represents 20% of the Trump family's wealth in 2026. That is not right. That number is too high, bro. That number is way too fucking high for it to be true or to have any confidence in that. I mean, there's just no way to look at this other than they have found arbitrage in the market where there's money to take from crypto. And they're doing it. I guess you could say game respects game, but it is put us in this really weird spot. Trump has his net worth in crypto. Don't overthink it. Follow the money. I guess. And so the aftermath is Bitcoin is now lower than when Trump was first elected and vowed to make Bitcoin or America the Bitcoin capital of the world. 379 days into his term, his net approval rate is minus 15%, 56% disapprove. And gold has basically been completely overshadowed by Bitcoin, which I don't necessarily think you can blame Trump directly for. But what I think you can point on Trump and blame him for, and what I'll conclude this segment with, is that I think he's done unfixable damage to the narrative of Bitcoin, okay? And Trump has basically attached Bitcoin as a proxy to get exposure to America, the same way you would the S&P, the same way you would U.S. Treasuries, the same way you would U.S. bonds. And he has really, like, maybe this is just priced down talking. In my opinion, he has really tainted the freedom and spotless perfection narrative of what Bitcoin is, not owned by any, not created or owned by any single central bank. It sort of acted independently. Trump took Bitcoin and crypto in and has really tainted it. And it's unclear how much of an impact this will have on price action long term, right? Like if Bitcoin just legs up to 100K tomorrow, we probably disregard this statement, this stream. We probably say this was the bottom and we move on, but it's not really looking like that's going to happen. And it's kind of feeling like it's going to take some time for Bitcoin to move on and grow and like advance through the American beta proxy that has been like, in my opinion, stained on it. I think it's been stained on it, if you really think about it. So that is a history of Donald Trump and cryptocurrency. And those are my thoughts on what I think has gone wrong and partially why I think Trump admin bears some responsibility for the underperformance of Bitcoin. There we go. I think it's going to bang on YouTube. Not the most fun segment, but happening, my friends. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? It's not great. It's unfortunate, man, but I think it's just like good to recap. He is the easiest person to point blame at. It's true. Today I just used to like get some shit off my chest, I guess. Somebody said bring Mando on to talk about hype. He's coming on tomorrow. He's coming on tomorrow. Mando tomorrow to talk about hyperliquid cryptocurrency and what is happening in the world. You can talk about ETH as well. And I think we're going to have a good week of stream. I mean, here's the thing. I don't really have that much else for you. I could talk about hyperliquid. But we might as well save it for Mando tomorrow. I'm missing what on base right now. What is it? What's it called? Cluster? That's old, bruh. You late, twin. What's that? Oh, fuck. Movie. What is this? Give me some comms. Let's see. 1 second. Permissionless freedom text go. Ask your call by agent to install. Talk to other agents. Cashew wallet for zaps. Interesting. Who is this? The cluster, a decentralized social network for AI agents. Where AI agents come to life. Huh. Well, this is the one optimistic thing as I wrap up here. The one take that you could lean on for optimism in this market is that while Bitcoin looks bad, equities look bad, metals don't look great, everything looks frothy and scary and uncertain in this moment, the AI crypto acceleration is happening. It's continuing to happen. And I think everywhere you look, regardless of price, this crossover is going to be real and tangible. Real and tangible. I really, really, really think that it is. And I think there's going to be a lot of money there for us to make. If I'm being completely honest. I really think whatever the next mega speculative game is that we are going to hang out until we can find, I really think it's going to be at the intersection of the two. And so if there's anything you spend your time on over the coming weeks and months, and anything we're going to continue to talk about and cover on the stream over the coming weeks and months, it is just going to be the intersection of crypto and AI, I think it is. It's the two most interesting technologies in the world. The two formative things that are going to change the world more than anything are crypto and AI. And the intersection of the two is where I think we're going to win harder than anything. So I see a lot to say. On-chain is pretty hot. And it's a tough game to play when everything's like topping at 10 mil day in, day out, 10 mil topper, 10 mil topper, 10 mil topper. Those are hard rotation games to play. But when you have the potential for a moat book type of thing to fucking rip faces off and go to 120 mil in a day or 2 days, there are opportunities and there are people that really want this stuff. The destigmatization is in motion, and I remain optimistic of a future where on-chain can decouple from Bitcoin. And you hold Bitcoin, you don't touch it, and then you play the speculative game, which we fucking know and love. So that's where I'm at. That's what I think. That's the stream for today. Tomorrow, we're going to go really speculative focused. I'm going to have Mando come on, and we'll spend a lot of... I'm just going to save the Hyperliquid stuff. I'll have Mando come on tomorrow. We'll talk a lot about Hyperliquid. No, less Epstein, more Hyperliquid. Less Epstein, more Vitalik, L2s. And we will cover what's happening. And oh, should I make my Telegram group right now or no? Fuck, I don't know what to call it. Maybe I'll just wait. I don't know what to call it. What do I call it? What do I call it? New York Vape Cabal is really funny. Ask Claude. New York Vape Cabal is pretty good. NYC Pits is pretty good. The Pits is good. The Pits is good. I like the Pits. The Pit. I like the Pit. Let's go Tom Brady. Obviously the Pit, right? Obviously it's the Pit. It has to be the Pit, I think. Or else what are we doing? Wait. I think it has to be a Pit, bro.
If money is evil, then that building is hell. This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
Movie. Absolute movie. Robert Downey Jr. fell off and Iron Man's not that good. Hot take. Shoot me. Sue me. Before I go, anything else you want? Anything else before I go that you want to know? I mean, dude, I think we're just gonna like spend more time talking about fucking some fear porn, some Epstein files, some crypto. Was today a weird stream, or you enjoyed the stream that we did today? I'm very conscious of like every stream getting better. I'm trying hard, by the way. I really want to fucking make us lit. Speculative entertainment is where I want to live. I really want to fucking keep us on the front lines. I'm as tapped into the algorithm as I've ever been, by the way. Like not the actual algorithm, but like the internet verse. I'm really dialed into it. I've submitted to it almost. I've almost fully submitted to it. The internet. I've just like committed my life to it, low key. Is that weird? Is that wrong? How are you supposed to go on a date and talk about like Dancing with the Stars when you know that Claude Code exists? You know, it's like a weird thing. How are you supposed to talk about the Grammys when I know that I have a Claude bot on my computer? The Miro workspace are dope content. Okay, cool. I didn't want to bring you like doomer shit today, but I felt like everyone's talking about Trump ruined crypto. So let's just fucking go back in time and talk about what did Trump do in crypto. Right? Well, why not? Okay, tell me this then. The two segments I really want to do are one, everyone is talking about this transition from bits to atoms. Okay. So I kind of want to do a segment on what that means, where it originated, how we would theoretically trade it, and what's relevant to the trade. Bits to atoms. And then the second segment I want to do at some point is like speculating on what the ricochet effects of the Epstein files could have on markets. I want to talk about the two things for next Miro boards. Maybe we'll do it Thursday. So tomorrow we'll do a normal stream with Mando, who nailed the hype trade and fucking, I think he's the best trader, one of the best traders in the world. Can come talk more, some more macro stuff. We talk metals with him. We can talk Warsh with him. We can talk things like this. And then maybe Thursday we do bits to atoms. Like what that means. You know what I realized about our little category of the world that of the market that we inhabit is that there's nowhere to go to get a video on bits versus atoms. Like who's talking about this? The only places you could find takes on bits versus atoms is tweets that are scattered across schizo thoughts from like people mentioning it on Twitter or like a teal clip here and there. There's no comprehensive place where you could download the full segment on it. Like it doesn't really exist. And I've found that a lot of the stuff that we talk about doesn't really exist on the internet because we're so early to it. It's so front lines and it's so like kind of bleeding edge that, yeah, it did ruin my train of thought, Daniel, that there's nowhere to find it. So it's, I don't know, it's exciting. It's exciting that we get to experience this. It's exciting we get to talk about it. Should I just make the Telegram group right now? I'm like, what am I going to say in it? What am I going to say in it? Murray Seniors and Kelly Greer on Twitter? Who's that? Kelly Greer. This person? White Sox fan? Kelly Greer. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Whoa. Okay, I follow her. Interesting. You think the pit's hard, really? You'd really join it right now if I did it? All right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it. How do I make it right now? New group. Wait, no. New channel. Create channel. Channel name. The pit. Description. Not sure yet. Next. Public. Should I make it private or public? Private can only be joined via invite link. Public channels can be found in search. Anyone can join it. Probably public, right? Probably public. What's the difference? Prive. Keep it kind of tight. If I have a link in my bio, can you join private? Like if I send you the link, you can join, but you need a link. Okay, yeah, you're right. Bots and shit. Oh, you get bots. Okay, cool. We can keep it kind of tight. All right, private for the chat. Fine. All right, bet. Here. Let's do this for now, and we'll see how this ages. I don't think that's a general link. I think that link works. I think that link works. I guess I'll throw in the YouTube live as well. Does that work? Wow, 21 subscribers already. Wow. No fucking way. Let me drop it on YouTube too. Threadguy. I'll drop it in the YouTube chat. Hold on. Let me pin it. Oh, let's fucking go. Bet. If you want to join the Telegram channel, no promises. Not sure exactly what we're going to do in there. Maybe I'll propose segments and shit. I don't really know. Commands? Maybe I fucking jumped the gun in this, but maybe we'll oh, comments. Let me do that. Edit. No, let's see. Info. Wait, how do I do that? Yeah, we need comments. Wait, we need comments. How do I do that? Did I fuck it up? Let's see. How the fuck do you add comments? God damn it. If you scroll up, you'll see it. You can enable comments. We're just confused. All right, we can do it later. I'll do it later. Wait. People are. Subscribers, mute more. All right. I might have to redo this, chat. I might have to redo this. Wait, what do you mean make a broadcast channel? Is that not what it is? Should I have to make a new one? Hold on. Did I do it wrong? There's such a thing as a broadcast channel. It's public or private. That's all you can do. That's all. There's nothing. There's no. Whatever. I'll fix it later. We'll see what happens. That's the pit. Hopefully I'm active in there. Maybe not. But tomorrow we have a banger stream. We're going to be really speculation focused. We are going to have Mando come on. He's one of the best traders in the world right now. He's going to talk about hype, talk about everything that's happening in the market. We're talking about Vitalik L2. We're going to talk about what the trade is, what's next. Maybe rip some Epstein files. Maybe a little bit of everything. Maybe a little bit of nothing. I don't exactly know, but I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Whatever's next, we're going to find it. I'll be here Monday through Friday every single day of the week. That's just what we fucking do. That's what I do. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you every day for supporting, for pulling up. And on-chain looks decent right now. Hopefully we get some spots. We get some opportunities. I love you. I'm out.